I'm excited to say we're joined by the one and only Chesney Hawkes. And this is unusual, but I need applause, guys, okay? Legend in the studio. Camera crew, join in, please. Thank you. Shouldn't have to ask. So after a decade-long hiatus, Chesney's back with new music, which is fantastic. And do you mind, I've just got to check before we play it. Do you mind me playing the one and only? Because it's just so defining.
No, go for it.
Come on.
Let's have it.
Roll.
Bring it on.
I am the one and only. Nobody I'd rather be. I am the one and only. You can't take that away from me.
Doesn't age. And you don't age, actually.
Well, I don't know about
Let's
that.
be honest about it.
I was just thinking the opposite thing.
No, you really don't age, Chesney, I promise you. So the new song is called Live Forever, just came out. Let's have a listen.
Let's turn this whole place upside down. Let's light a fire under this town. So here we go. Any moment now. We will live forever,
So actually, was that co-written by Nick Kershaw?
Yeah, I wrote that one with Nick and my old mate Jake Gosling. So yeah, but Nick obviously I've been working with for 34 years.
Because he co-wrote One and Only, didn't he?
He wrote the one and only.
Oh, did he write?
Yes.
Okay. He's an
yes.
amazingly talented writer, yeah.
Oh, he's incredible.
Yeah, incredible.
National treasure as far as I'm concerned.
Anyone here want to come out as a Nick Kershaw fan, just while we're mentioning, because... Oh, yeah.
Little bit? What does that mean? Little bit or...?
Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah.
Come on.
No, there are two types of people in this world. Nick Kershaw fans and people that should be Nick Kershaw fans.
Absolutely right. So the music video, I want to ask you about this. Your other recent single that Chesney had was called Get a Hold of Yourself. And it was compared to the end of the film Saltburn. Now, are you ready for this, guys? Have you seen Saltburn?
Yes.
If
Right.
you're squeamish, you might want to look away.
So Barry Keoghan went nude dancing around a mansion. And we can now see Chesney do something similar.
The carbon seats up to me. Change your mind. Fall in line. Get a hold of yourself. Give me your all. Don't let me fall. You decide. Amplify. Get a hold of yourself. 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 Get a hold of yourself.
This is like an episode of MasterChef. It's honestly loving it. I mean, that we didn't expect all of that, but
No,
that's
that was
the
more than
bonus,
I
really.
expected to see this morning, to be honest with you, Jeremy.
Was it coincidence that it looked like Saltburn? Or...
No, I loved that film.
Yeah, me too.
And that song, it was really about freedom of self-expression, kind of getting to a certain age and, wanting to kind of just be free in yourself. And I wanted to do something visually that reflected that feeling.
Yeah.
So I saw that film and I was like,
Yeah.
So I wanted something brave and bold, so I brought that idea to the team.
And nice to film a video inside your own house as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Good, yeah.
I wish. That's actually the house that Thomas Shelby owned in Peaky Blinders.
Oh,
Yeah, Arley
okay.
Hall. Yeah.
So you've watched Saltburn,
Yes.
and you've obviously watched it, Ghetto. Don't say no.
I can't remember it.
You can't remember.
You wouldn't remember it.
You haven't. Here we go. The
You
guy
wouldn't
who's
remember
not sure about Nick Kershaw
Yeah.
also hasn't watched Saltburn.
Yeah,
that's
it's
two red flags now.
Yeah. One more and you're out, sir.
Dead to us, yeah. So the entire album is out in February, correct?
Yeah, it's actually available now for pre-order on chesneyhawkes.com if you're interested.
Oh, lovely, brilliant.
Yes, but it's out in February, yes.
Do
when
I-
I will be going on tour and everything.
I love asking people about lyrics.
Yeah.
The title Living Arrows, tell us.
Oh, well, it's from Khalil Gibran, a poem called On Children.
He wrote The Prophet, didn't he, that guy?
He did. And this particular poem it's about children and what it's like to be a parent. And he likens your children to arrows or living arrows. He said, we are the bows that pull forth and you let them go. And my kids are at that age now, 19, 21 and 23, where they're cooked, they're done, and it's like letting them go. I also liked the analogy of songwriting to that same thing, where you write them, you put your heart and soul into them, and then you just have to let them go into the world.
So one of your sons, is it your oldest son who's playing the guitar with you? Is that right?
That's my youngest boy.
Your
actually,
youngest?
Indiana. Yeah. All of my kids are musical. Actually, my daughter's a singer, and my son Casey he loves playing guitar.
Yeah.
Singing. But this boy here, Indiana, he's my lead guitar player now, Jeremy.
Is that right?
He is. He's amazing. It's one of my favourite things in life to look over and watch him throw guitar shapes with his foot on the monitor and. Generally,
So I was just because you are brilliant on the guitar because I've seen you live, and I was talking to someone who plays guitar the other day, and I said, "Oh, the greatest guitarists, who are they? Clapton," and they said, "No, Clapton's rubbish." All guitarists know. I thought, Eric Clapton, is that something that guitarists secretly tell each other? Eric Clapton is rubbish.
He's not rubbish. He's just it's different. He's not versatile. He has a one style. He was asked once, "What's it like to be the best guitarist in the world?" Eric Clapton was,
Yeah.
and he said, "I don't know. Ask Prince."
Yeah, Prince is good.
Prince was the best.
Yeah, your favourite guitarist? We're now going to get the third red flag.
Nick
What?
No, I'm going to surprise you. I played lead guitar in a band called Llyn in G, which means G-string, in Wales about 40 years
I
ago.
nearly spit my water.
Yeah,
come
terrible. We
G-string be
did Tears for
translated as
Fears covers.
Llyn in G.
Llyn in
Okay.
G, yeah. There you go.
Any
So
musical?
you're your favourite
No,
guitarist.
it's terrible.
So, Stella, any musical background you'd like to confess?
I tried learning to play the electric guitar for about a year when I was a teenager because I was trying to get the boys who also played electric guitar to like me. It didn't work, so I stopped.
No, fair enough.
Is it that moment, the one and only moment? Obviously, every interview sort of touches on that. Is that problematic for you now? Do you hate the way it keeps coming up, or do you think no? Because the Thin Lizzy rule is this: you only need one great song, and you live forever. And Thin Lizzy had The Boys Are Back in Town, so you will live forever.
And that's the title of my new single, Live Forever.
Yes,
So, yeah,
exactly.
I mean, so
You will
you
live
hit the
forever.
nail on the head there,
but then
Jeremy.
it might really annoy you. It might annoy
it
you.
doesn't annoy me because I know what that song means to so many people.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I enjoy playing it live. I have a lot of love for it. It's a great song.
Good.
So and I realise that I'm not going to do a gig without playing it. People want to see me play it, and that's fair enough. But I'm just happy that I'm able to now play this new stuff, which is.
I saw there was. This is a weird one. You've had a bit of a sort of bust up with Philip Schofield because he said something rude about you.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a bust up, and
Brutal swipe. There we are. That's
a brutal
the mirror.
swipe. Yeah, I think that's the mirror being salacious. So
But what did he do to? Because you're not someone who angers easily.
No, and listen, this is not something that's happened recently at all. I used to know Philip in the early days, of course, when he used to do live and kicking and all that kind of stuff. This is really about the Brits in 1991 who took a swipe at me for being. I think I got an award for being the most annoying thing in the world or something like that. And anyway, Philip was like dressed up as he had a pitchfork, dressed up as the devil, and he was pushing somebody was dressed as me. And I remember watching it at home, watching Philip Schofield with a pitchfork just pushing me back down into the gates of hell. And as
That's bad. That's not good.
it's not good for if you can imagine how I felt as a 19-year-old boy, impressionable young man.
And you're talented, and he's probably not.
Well, it's not even that. It's not even about him. It's about the way that the business can build people up and spit them out.
Bee Gees had this. Do you remember that someone hired a stadium where they said, "Bring your Bee Gees records. We're going to blow them up." And literally, people. Do you remember this?
I saw the documentary.
Yeah, and I was really, and they were really upset, and they literally brought a bomb, and they put the Bee Gees, and they blew them up.
Yeah.
And it really hurt them. Yeah. So you've said. What did you say? Because you're such a nice guy, I can tell.
Yeah.
33 years later, Chesney's brooding for 33 years.
Maybe I'm just at the point in my 50s where I'm free to say whatever I want, do what I want, and that's actually how I feel with this new music, to be honest. It's just kind of total freedom.
You said, I'm not asking you to repeat it, but you said bastard, basically.
Bastard.
Yeah, there we go. I'm reading it with the asterisk in. Chesney's new single, Live Forever, is out now. The new album is Living Arrows. It's out next year. Go on Chesney's website, order a copy, chesneyhawkes.com. Stay with us. We've got other stories to discuss here. In the Times, Wes Streeting sets out a men's health strategy, Gitto. That's for you and me, right?
Yeah,
Not
isn't that
for you, because you're
refreshing?
so blooming young.
Isn't that refreshing? For once, there is this group of people who are white men and men in general that actually are worthy of something to do with life preservation and health and well-being and all the rest of it.
Yeah, I suppose so.
And actually, there are things.
I mean,
that are
women are
relevant
so
to us.
ignored. You know, it's all male doctors. They won't take their menopause seriously. And now women have got a little bit of a moment where people are talking about the menopause and men go, oh, again we're being ignored.
It's not at the expense of everything else. It's just quite rightly there are certain things that kill men. And
Yes.
he's trying to come up with a strategy for it.
Prostate cancer being one.
Yeah, a big one. Took out my late father, for instance. So there's a lot of stuff like that. And it's good to see a health secretary who's trying to look strategically and longer term and look at prevention rather than cure. And hopefully, I have high hopes for West Streeting, not for many members of this government, but I think he really wants to deploy technology in a clever way as well. And all of that is to be welcomed.
He wants to be the next leader, I reckon.
Well, that's fine.
I really do. So help me understand this. Prostate cancer, yes. Anything else? Depression, probably, because that's big. Suicide's
Suicide's the biggest killer
of young men.
Which is very crazy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it
It's
is.
alarming.
I mean, the thing with the suicide statistics, which show that more men commit suicide than women, is that the reason why men commit suicide more is because they're more successful, because they usually use more violent methods. More women attempt suicide.
Yeah.
And that is not to say, of course, that both do not deserve. I do not think.
No, you're right.
I agree with you.
You are
do not
right.
Have to.
Yeah. Chesney, in the mail, leave the wine at home. Now, this is a real kind of middle-class story here. If you go... I went to a dinner party last week, I haven't been to one for ages, and we brought wine and chocolates. And this says that's not what they're doing anymore.
It does seem crazy, doesn't it? I think maybe we're just old-fashioned. I would always bring a bottle of wine. It's just the thing to do. But I get it. You know, people are like olive oils and vinegars and tins of fish, maybe, Jeremy?
I wouldn't bring... What, anchovies?
That's what it's saying here, like,
Pilchards?
yeah, I guess so.
To a dinner party?
Or
Sarties.
artisanal granola.
Yeah, I do think olive oil is a nice artisanal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if this
there a
is...
difference?
Well, I don't know. I did once get a bottle of olive oil that someone gave me as a gift, and they said it cost £18 because it was delivered by ship as opposed to being flown over.
Right.
Yeah.
There's an
What
American
would-
TV chef here who said that she weighed in to say that taking wine to a dinner party could be seen as rude.
I think it can be quite aggressive, actually. What do you think? What do you bring if you ever go out?
Aggressive,
Why
no,
is it
but
aggressive?
Well, it's like, I don't think you've probably got any nice wine here, so
Oh,
have some of ours. And particularly if you say it is chilled, then they've got to open it.
right.
No, I think if you take something thoughtful, if you came to dinner, which would be amazing, and you brought a bottle of Greek olive oil, I would be
Yes.
the
There you
happiest man on the planet because it's meaningful.
so
I
true.
sometimes take, hand wash and hand cream because it's a nice change and it lasts and it comes in a nice little box. The Good Wash Company sells
Aren't you
these
saying
lovely little
you
gifts.
need a bath.
It's something that lasts, doesn't it? Or you take a candle, or you take a sort
A
of
candle, scented candle?
Same
Chocolates,
kind of thing.
maybe?
Yeah, go on, Stella,
In
tell us.
Greece, we don't bring alcohol usually when you are invited to dinner. We always bring dessert because in Greece, on every corner there is a patisserie shop. So the common thing is you have to go and buy like a patisserie, basically a pie, some kind of pie, or like chocolates or a cake, something like that.
I'm
which is-
desperate to find a Greek ancestor. We've talked about this before. The EU thing, whatever, but it's just I feel like we're all looking for European ancestors,
Yeah.
and I reckon I am a little bit Greek because whenever you say that, I think I've got a memory of it. I've got some memory of a patisserie shop on every corner. That's amazing. Have you been to Greece?
Yeah, we were just talking about it backstage.
He's been to my hometown.
I actually said I went to Thessaloniki, which is where Stella is from.
Right.
She's like, that's my hometown. What were you doing there? It's like having a wonderful time.
Brilliant.
Eating patisseries.
Brilliant. In the Times, Stella, the 4-bin rule. So it looks as if we're going to have to use even more bins.
Yeah, I have to say, climate change is real and we should recycle and all of that, but I'm not sure I love this idea because already I'm quite skeptical about how effective recycling is and where our recycling actually ends.
Because Boris Johnson, your former boss, suddenly went off on a rant about recycling's a waste of time during a press conference about something else. and I couldn't quite... Why do you think it might not be doing the job, Stella?
Well, I think it's firstly people are indeed they are confused about what they should recycle or not. Or a lot of people simply cannot be bothered, and because there isn't enough space in their normal rubbish bin. I see this all the time in my neighborhood. I will open the rubbish bin and it will be full with things like paper that's already been soiled with something, or just things that are not materials that people do not know are not recyclable in their councils, because every council again can recycle different things. But there is also a lot of skepticism about where all of this recycling ends up.
It's the suspicion that when they get to the end of the street, they put it all in the same container and burn it. That's why.
I swear I've seen that happen.
Well, I mean, I gather that if somebody puts something that shouldn't be in a particular bin, it contaminates the whole street, and that's terrible. But I've got a paper and card box. I've got a plastics box. I've got a bottles box. I've got a food waste. I've got a garden waste. That's 5, and that's not even including the actual official bin for stuff I can't recycle.
Puts you off having a dinner party, doesn't it?
Yeah, I should just bring a bin next time I go to dinner.
Some of them have like 10 different bins.
I've never got above 6. Have you got above 6?
No, we've only got 3 actually, or 4, because we're
Really?
food waste, so 4. But I was reading in this article, there's in some places in Wales, there's like 10 different boxes. Bins, yeah.
Welsh governments are out ahead of us on a lot of things, Gitto.
Do you know what? It's a no-brainer, because what you're doing is you're reducing the amount of stuff that goes to landfill. And we should not be putting bottles and large cardboard boxes and cans of baked beans or whatever it is in landfill. Well. It's valuable material as well.
But why do we have to sort it? Why can't they sort it at the other end?
So I have once been, I think years ago, when I used to do this kind of stuff for a living, I went to a recycling centre. Unbelievable. You saw all this mixed stuff go across the conveyor belt, and then the magnets pull up the metal bit. And then there's some clever weighing stuff that means that the glass drops through because it's heavier. So they can separate this. And then you have... you recycle the glass and you recycle metal, all of which are precious raw materials. So it's a no-brainer, but I don't like councils burdening you, and I hate the sort of bureaucracy that's behind it, not to mention the police that will come around, the sort of local council police to sort of accuse you of being a bad person.
Is it acceptable to throw stuff away that's household waste in public waste bins?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I've got a friend who, she just pops out with a little bag and drops it in the waste bin at the end of the street.
I'll tell you what, if it's something that's going to smell, especially in the summer, I think it's the right thing to do, because that bin is going to be emptied on a daily basis. So it's a lot more hygienic for everyone who lives in your household and everyone who lives in your building as well.
But there was a story where the police saw someone disposing of rubbish and said, "Excuse me, where's that from?" and said, "You can't do that." And they gave them a ticket.
I mean, not a whole bag, but why not, if you have just a small bag of stuff that's like smelly or something like that.
I was about to read my own name. Jeremy, Daily Star. It's the Germans. What is this? The Germans are polled as having a better sense of humour than the rest of us. We have ways of making you laugh.
I don't believe it.
Oh, I do. I know.
You think so? You think they could be funny?
Germans are hilarious.
Yeah,
definitely.
The thing, my dad always told the same story, which I probably have told before, where it was at a court case and it was in, near our town, and it was a magistrate's court. But there was a German guy who was the defendant, and they hadn't got a translation. He didn't speak a word of English. My dad used to tell this story again. So they said, the judge said to the gallery, "Does anyone here speak some German so you can translate?" And the guy said, "Yeah, I do, yeah." So he comes down and they have to, so the barrister asks the first question to the defendant and says, "All right, where were you on the night of the 31st? And the judge says, "Okay, can you just translate that, please?" And he goes, "Yeah. Where were you on the night of the 31st? And
Very
he got done for contempt of court, yeah. But he said it was worth it.
Great
So,
story.
listen, Chesney, thank you.
Oh no, thank you for having me.
Did you enjoy it? Was it okay?
I had a great time.
Yeah, I'm sorry about Gitto's views. It's just
I'm going to send him some
Nick Kershaw. Send him the riddle.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just don't like him as much as I like someone like Louis Armstrong or whatever. It's more about my taste in music.
Yeah.
That old.
So,
Chestnut. Chesney's new single, Live Forever, is out now. The new album is called Living Arrows, out next year. So good to see you, my friend.
You too.